So you guys requested how to make FM sounds with FM synthesis, and I will show you in this video. We will be making this sound here. So we will make an FM synthesis here, and we start with the init preset. And it sounds like this, and I have like this little rhythm going on, and I always take like a rhythm which already worked somewhere else on a similar preset, because then I don't have like multiple problems. Otherwise it's like, is the rhythm bad or is the preset bad? And that way you're already kind of like solving one part of the equation. You have a rhythm which works, and then you can just focus on the synthesis. So it sounds like this at the moment. And we can go one octave down. And let me record this quickly out for you. And it looks like this. So you have like a saw wave. As expected, we didn't do anything with it, so it should look like that. And now I want to show you if we add our modulator. So we have FM modulation. So we have one sound modulating the other sound, which is called the carrier. So we put that one here on sub. We can choose any waveform. We have a look in that in a second. And we can put here FM from sub oscillator. We don't need the level here because we really don't want to put out that sound. We just want to use it to modulate the other sound. And now if we crank that up, then you hear it gets like really gritty. And if we record it out, then you can see basically that we have the saw wave, but it's also having this other wave in here. So we would switch to another wave. Then you can see that it's basically having the other wave in here. So it's not, you cannot see it like super easy, but depending on, for example, if we go on a low octave here, you can see it a bit better. So you see there's like this down, up ports, and there's like different ports. You can really see it here. So we go one more down. You see that they become like double the lengths. So that's basically one wave modulating the other wave. So let's now check how we can use that. So we'll go back to the sine wave. And the first thing is, as you have already seen, like bringing in different octaves gives you like different sounds. So usually what works really good is like -1, -2, but it totally depends on what you want to get out. So for example, let's go through all of them and see what kind of like characteristics we can get here. So we can get like gritty sounds here with the same one. So let's go down. So this is like a bit different type, but to be honest, like the other ones sound better. He gets a little bit like chip sound thing. And here we get like a DJ scratching sound, or like really like birdie sound. And let's also have a quick look in the other direction. That sounds also interesting and has a bit of a like resonating sound here. And if we go a bit up. That sounds also really nice. I will go with that one. Actually, I plan to go with the -1, but this one works also really well. So that will be the first tip. Try like different octaves on the modulator. Also, you can try different octaves on the carrier. As this is like a lot of combinations, I don't want to make the whole tutorial about like trying this out. Just try them out and see what they give you. The same goes for like the wave shapes. So basically you have unlimited combinations. Okay, it's limited, but let's say you have like 4 octaves, 4 good octaves maybe here, and you have 4, then it's already 16, and you multiply it by the waves, and here by the waves, and you got like 500 different combinations of cool FMs you can make. So that's what I would do. And the most important thing is that you find the warp thing here, that you find the right warp amount. Because it sounds easily shitty if you have it a little bit wrong. For example, that one doesn't sound so pleasant. as this one, in my opinion. That one also does sound good. It's a small percentage usually, which is good. Sometimes it's like multiple ones, so you can maybe find one here as well, depending on what kind of sound you're looking for. But here I think it was more here. And once you find a good one, you can hold shift to find or adjust it. I got something pretty amazing for you guys. It's a boot camp. It's a 1 weekend thing which we spent time together, really intensive, really condensed. I will show you everything it needs that you can finish tracks really fast to make good tracks. So a lot of tracks I released on good labels I made with this workflow, and I will show you exactly what I do in a very quick and rapid way so that you can apply it to your own tracks and you never struggle finishing your tracks again, because this will change how you make tracks forever. And we will spend the whole weekend on this and work on it. So if you are a beginner, or let's say to intermediate, who hasn't released much, who is struggling sometimes to finish tracks, then this is exactly right for you. And there's a special Black Friday offer. So the bootcamp will be on the 16th and 17th from 9 to 6:30 CET, and the special Black Friday offer is only for a limited amount of people. So if you want to join it, then sign up now, then pause this YouTube video, sign up, come back to this video, and we will see us in the bootcamp. And the thing is, the modulator kind of like introduces like sidebands, it's called, into the area, and this can be like harmonic or inharmonic. So let's look a bit into that. So harmonic is everything which follows the harmonic series. So let's say you make a tone in 50 hertz, then a harmonic series is like 2x the tone is 100 hertz, 3x the tone is 150, 4x 200, that's kind of like the harmonic series. So if you, for example, like look in here, then you also have like a harmonic series, which creates this sawtooth wave. So this is like the first, the fundamental, it's the second harmonic, third, and so on. And with this modulation, you can basically introduce like harmonic frequencies, but also like inharmonic frequencies. And let's say the more inharmonic you go, the more off it sounds, the more kind of like gritty maybe it also sounds, but the more you go with the harmonic ones, the more pleasant it sounds. And you need to just find the balance for whatever you want to do. So that's really important. So I think the sound is sounding nice, but for me it has too much like low frequencies. So what we'll do is we will just add a low cut here. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. We don't go too much into the lows, and then from here we can try to increase the unison and see if that makes it more fat. Could do it maybe like this. And then we could see if we could add like another layer maybe. So we could map this and have this either like this. Not bad, but we can also see what happens if we also modulate this from the sub. And they don't need to be necessarily on the same value. Maybe we'll leave that one in the center, and this one, as this is like an even number of bands, we have like more like of this left-right thing. So let's check that, and we can also check the octave maybe. I think it was the best here. So now I would add a little bit of filtering here. You can use like a low pass or a high pass filter can be also really nice. We can start modulating this so that this moves a little bit over time. If we do that, I wouldn't do it too fast, maybe like this. It doesn't move too high as well, and we can have a second filter as well here. So for example, maybe we have like a low pass filter here, and we could even make that note on random so that every note triggers like a different value here. And from here we can start like adding effects to make it more interesting. Let's play once with the bass and the drums. Yeah, I think it's a bit loud. And it sounds at the moment very kind of like not in the space. So we will need to have a bit of delay. So for example, we could add like a dotted 8 ping pong, and this will create like more space and also makes it a little bit less, let's say, not predictable, but kind of like square thing. Yeah, this filter, if we have it on, sometimes kills it a bit too much. We could make the mix a bit less and just use this more with resonance to give some like variety in the where the frequency builds up. And we could add like some effects, for example, like distortion. And maybe a flanger. Or a phaser. I usually don't use both. I find it sounds most of the time not so good. You know, I tend to try those things. So if I want to find like a value which fits, I usually move it fast and then slow. If I want to find a modulation, I would move it like how I would modulate it. So we could maybe move from here to here, and let's put that a bit different than this one. And also let's put that not on the BPM, so then we have a bit of variation and not everything kind of like snaps in everywhere. And we could also add a bit more here. Don't forget to A/B a bit in between. Also check like the order of things from time to time, if you can improve that. That makes it more dirty, but maybe also a bit more interesting maybe. So let's see. Yeah, like also the phaser in that case before the distortion. We can bring a bit of randomness also in here, but just like a bit, we put on sample and hold, maybe on dotted 8s as well. And what we can also make with the sound, we can make it a bit more plucky so that it gets more of a rhythm in there. And if you want to really get forward with your music, I have a full course in which I show you a whole month how to make cool rhythms, FM rhythms, and much more. So if you want to know more about that, you find all the information in the description box below. And we could modulate that as well with, for example, note on random, so that it has like different kind of pluckiness. And the same we can do with the release. And if you want to A/B that, you can put the output down here. You can also mix it in like that. There's some things I don't like so much on the sound. It gets like unstable at some points. So I would kind of like dig into that, like look at the automations. I think it's from the phaser, to be honest. And I think it's the phaser feed. So that's things I usually then also not do on the first step. I just go like creative like this and I make like a bunch of presets. If I want to, you don't need to, because a lot of people think they need to make all their own presets. There's amazing banks out there you can use. And then I would just like go with a creative brainstorm, make like 10 of those. And in another session, I would do like this little fixes. So for example, turning stuff down. There's also a more simple way to do this with just using wavetables. And I show this in this tutorial up here. Also, try to not make these sessions too long. So I think it's a good idea to really crank out sounds maybe in like 15 to 45 minutes and then move on to another sound. And don't get like super stuck on those. Do a lot of breaks on the way. So maybe after each 1, 2, 3 sounds, make a break and build up your own bank if you like to. And yeah, send me your presets if you make some cool ones, because I always find it interesting to have new presets. I also always would love to share them here with the community. So send me if they're good ones and I might share them with all of you guys. So if you have any questions to that, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more videos, because I'm making videos on things people request in the comments if they fit, then put that down in the comments as well. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, obviously, then hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel.